The lost city of Atlantic City.
Boy, I hope we don't lose focus.
Look, I wouldn't worry about us losing.
Cotton candy. Ice cream.
So you have been doing these characters for 20 years. People have grown up listening to you. Kids still love you. Adults still love you. How does that make you feel?
Man, are we lucky. Yeah, it's nothing prepares you for what we've experienced with this cartoon. And nothing. It's no one prepared Steven Hillenburg for what would happen with his creation. It is a singular experience in so many ways.
Well, singular is right. There really is nothing like it, like to stumble into this gig, which, you know, as journeyman knucklehead actors, you're just glad to have a gig. Then a gig that lasts for a while, that's good too. But then a job that appears to have, and I think after 20 plus years, we would know if it has a downside. There's no, you know, although being a dour Irish guy, I'm always waiting for a shoe to drop. But there's it really is amazing. Like it really is all good vibes, right? Like the job is fun. The people are fun. 20 years later, it still feels creative and like a place that we're glad when the show gets picked up. It's not like, oh, I'm ready to move on to other things. You know, I can do that drama that I've been wanting, that drama about the murders that I've been wanting to do. Yeah. You know, it's like, there's really no downside and people just love it. And Bill and I were talking earlier, like just, you know, it's always comfort food and kind of a safe place for people that grew up with it and their kids and everything. But now more than ever, that safe place seems to have huge value that it even more than it did before.
Well, and who could have predicted the way it weaves into digital culture, you know, with this thing that just blew up all over the world. And somehow SpongeBob found its way into that.
With the memes and everything. Yeah, SpongeBob is kind of a little ahead of digital culture. Like our first movie, we couldn't have done a press tour like this, right? In 1994, which to me doesn't seem that long ago, but
2004.
2004.
Yeah, sorry, it's 2004. Sorry, I lose track of time when I'm locked up with my wife and kids for 4 months. But it's you know, it doesn't seem like an epoch ago, but it kind of is, you know, in terms of what's happened with the technology in the world and just how stuff gets done. So the end product, we're just making dumb, funny cartoons that hopefully will make people, the silliness that'll make people laugh. But the delivery system and how you, you know, get it out there has changed drastically.
I smell a road trip.
That could be my breath.
I wonder about both of your perspectives on this, because not a day goes by on my Twitter or Facebook or whatever account where there's not a SpongeBob meme that comes up with something. And I'm assuming it happens to both of you as well. When it happens to you, is it like a little lightning bolt, or you're just so used to seeing it now that you're like, oh, it's like my work is following me at home and everywhere I go?
No, I haven't hit that point. I don't see anyone that we're involved with on the show hit that point yet. I think everyone still takes great delight in everything, and I love, you know, people will like see some weird Patrick thing and send it to me. It always makes my day.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I guess especially when, like, it might be different if the characters had our faces, but you know what I mean? Like, but the fact that they're
absolutely
kind of drawing, yeah, if it looked like us, it would probably be, oh God. Yeah. You know, but yeah, if I love the whole meme culture, like where people will see an image of SpongeBob that had a whole different intent when it came out, but they go, oh, that drawing reminds me of the feeling I get when this happens. And then they kind of recaption this drawing or this extreme pose or whatever. Like, that's amazing. Like, culturally, to me, that's kind of like weird folk art or something, like dumpster, like somebody that finds some cool thing in a dumpster and then makes some piece of art out of it.
It's today's hobo art.
Yes, it's hobo art. It's like hobo picture frames. Yeah, I love it.
Hello. Call me Sage.
Good name.
I'm made out of sage and I am a sage, so it works out pretty well.
I'm Patrick. My name means toaster in Celtic.
Pretty sure it doesn't.
I love this movie because it is optimistic. It is about the power of friendship and loyalty. All these messages that have been woven throughout everything in the SpongeBob culture. But for right now, for this minute that the movie comes out, it seems like, for me anyway, that they resonate a little bit more loudly right now. I think maybe that's part of why SpongeBob has stayed so popular, and Patrick and all the characters, because there is this kind of real human thing that goes along with these extremely silly characters. How do you see the popularity having lasted for this long?
SpongeBob is it's life, like writ large and loud, right? The colors are brighter, the music is crazier, the emotions that the characters feel are never in between. They're always extremes. So, I think it's kind of very easy for people to identify with because it's really clear. And that's what cartoons and both print and celluloid cartoons are about, is just kind of broad strokes and bam. And I think part of it is that, and I think part of it is just that ongoing trust relationship that you have with characters that you like. And it's comfort food, but it's comfort food that doesn't appear to have too many deleterious health concerns attached to it. So it's better than hamburgers. Yeah.
There's a certain amount of what you're talking about, and it's kind of an enigma. It's kind of a mystery, because if it was a formula, then everyone would try and do the formula, and a part of it is just starting with an idea, which we have with Steven Hillenburg, and what happens with it, and Hillenburg was such a unique, special human being. I think that set up the whole thing.
Yeah, everything flowed from him. It was all on paper in his desk drawer before it was ever a show, long before it was a show. So really, all the DNA and all the fingerprints that kind of made it what it is, were 100% him. And then he put together this team, which he was really good at, and most of which are still working on the show 20 something years later, which helps too. Yeah, he really just kind of knew what he was doing instinctively. And, he was smart too, but he wasn't like a big strategy, I want to conquer the world of show business guy. Being a mogul was probably close to the bottom of his list of stuff he cared about. But
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
And I hope in 20 years from now we can have a similar conversation to this about SpongeBob part, what would it be, 10 or 12 on the movies.
Yes, nice to see you again, Richard.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
This is going to be like a buddy movie.
Oh, I love your sense of irony, Patrick.
Thank you. I love my sense of ironing too.